What's going down, M7 community? Now, hopefully this slams in, and we're gonna roll with NMS 1.5 development update. What does that mean? Development. There's so many things that can come next after those words are uttered. But we're going to be covering No Man's Sky 1.58. Now, one of the things that I found that luckily one of my buddies was able to send to me pretty fast was the connectable link, which I put in the descriptions down below, which you can check out if you want to read into like more of like a digestible point at your own leisure. Since they were a little bit hard for me even to find on the very front page, which I'm normally used to just hitting their news segment, going to releases, and just bam, it's patch notes are just there. It's super simple. But for today, it really wasn't. So I supplied those, which are, in my personal opinion, a little irregular to find, which I kind of searched, and it is somewhere there, but you gotta dig. But let's go ahead and get into the patch notes. You can see behind me is the wall of just check the web. And here we are. We're checking the web. So, hello game. It gives you that much more of just like a little bit of a footnote. You're more than welcome to read the positive responses that they've been getting back and all that fun stuff. But there is some more situations that are coming down to play. What is the development? So it's a galactic website. Last month, we launched a new website dedicated to the community, which we called the Galactic Atlas. The site featured the point of interest in No Man's Sky, galaxy, everything you could want in a survey, and created into the earlier months, which I checked out in the very beginning. It was pretty cool, actually. Now they've added into that is now where you can jump onto their website. So this is going to be a little bit more of like a third-party point. If you're really experienced in No Man's Sky and you're wanting that much more of an adventure to kind of see. I'm starting to get down to the point now where I am going to, after I produce God of War 1.32 update right after this, I'm going to have to let this cool down and make some thumbnails and other things and go from there. That there's going to be a lot of fun gameplay coming into like where now we can kind of see what's going down. We can hunt for like really cool S-class ships, and now we can look at the galaxy of what we see spinning down below. So on top of this, the new region hubs submits a new explorer, which is including the official community links for those who would like to join, as well as in the portal addresses. So that's kind of cool. You can throw your MAC addresses out there and just kind of zip around this intergalactic woven network that we've kind of gotten down to creating nowadays. So discover the progress of all the regions and the hubs, revealing how many bases have been claimed in the regions, as well as how many spaces. Oh, now this is kind of cool. This is filling in the gap. It kind of reminds me almost kind of like now where it's like, since there's enough people that have played it and enough people have kind of come and gone, let's see what the carbon footprint of what everything was. Or did they erase everything and did next just make the foundation? Because I left some like calling cards, so I'm wondering if those still exist. The names of the current leader explorers of those regions. So the people that are basically, they're leading those leaderboards and they're being able to conquer those. The name, if the next one would be where the first community research mission is now taking place within the galaxy. The final batch of the Atlas Rises POIS. So basically at this point in time, they've given us almost their masterpiece, and I kind of almost predicted the foresightable point of us coming down to a 1.58 and it tapping out. So this very well could be the last one, besides a few adjustments that maybe we might see a 1.59, but I think they might go into the next update, which is going to be Cycle. So I hear Cycle might be a thing. If you have any comments on that, please leave it down below, and I'm always giddy to hear what fan feedback is inside a situation, because No Man's Sky and its community is very thick in thieves with information, so it's like a thieves guild almost. It's pretty cool. So with that being said, let's go ahead and continue to go down. Like, I mean, there's a lot of picture points. The community events now that it says Hello Game has planned in the first season for the free weekly content and the community events. The specialist Polo Priestess Nada will be playing a big part in this. So buckle up, as like you're going to become more attached to these uh encounters as you're zipping around in spacecrafts. They're going to be like broadcasting requests for assistance, Polo's advanced boundary monitoring equipment and location and so it's just like kind of giving us this whole point in building up. It begins on Thursday, the 30th August, which is today for me. This is brand new. This is today, when this is like got down to the point of yesterday where they started it, where it is down to the point today, Thursday, but it is now technically Friday by where I'm at, but in Hawaii, it's Thursday. Anyways, we're not debating Pacific Standard Time and Hawaiian Standard Time, because that's what it is. It's Hawaiian Standard Time because it's very aloha. Hello and goodbye. Space anomaly missions. Let's go past this, where we see the first chapter of Polo's research and projects. So like, stay tuned to these, get glued to these people. These are going to be situations that you're going to come down to better intertwinement. We're going to see a huge, I guess, birth of what we as customization in No Man's Sky will become into. So if this is going to be a thing kind of like Far Cry, where they're going to be updating stuff weekly, me as a player, this is getting me really excited, because this is like, they already kind of like got like the, I guess, the paddles out, and like they saw NMS going in cardiac arrest, and they just kind of went clear, and that was foundation, and they laid it down, and then they went to Atlas, and we're now here next. So it's like, if they continue with weekly to patch into where they're going into the next like update past this, which would inevitably be 1.6 at this point in time if we were to tap out in a situation. So I'm hoping that this will blossom like from here. Like it seems like they're taking it in the community events and giving back, and like the amount of content that we've gotten today versus 2016 is like night and day. So it's like, if you're debating and you're watching this for the first time and you're like, I don't know if I should get No Man's Sky, nowadays it's kind of worth it, especially with the price point that you're going to be like picking it up for. It's not that expensive nowadays. It's not like your normal like AAA that comes out of the gate. So it's like community spotlights. No Man's Sky has always been a game that has been built on community and the stories that are generated, and that's true. If you look at Reddit, there's a plethora of like, hey, check out my underwater base, or check out this really cool fish that's somehow playing like some plankton guitar. Stuff like that is really silly. That doesn't exist, the plankton guitar, but there is a really cool fish picture there. I just want to clarify that. Your screenshots are exactly that are fueled in development when they're coming. So they're wanting to see this in too many like incredible screenshot possibles. So it's like, we're going to see development points past this, and where they're, look at the fan art that's kind of pouring in. That's so cool. Look at that Gek. He looks so profound. And it is really, really sick. I mean, I do have to admit, this is an amazing, like, we're just gonna pay it forward here and just look at this like beautiful art and give tribute to these artists that we have right here in this patch note, because it seems like this is a lot of people pouring back and paying it forward. Ooh, we love the brilliant tribute to 2001 Space Odyssey. Now that's really cool. That is an amazing story. Man, all my Legos. Insane. People have such a beautiful way of articulating themselves. So now that we've gotten past the fandom, it seems like the development update. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right, this is what people are here for. Analytically, this is where it's gonna spike, more than likely. Development update is a large new patch now live on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. You can find the long list of fixes and improvements below. So let's go ahead and go below. This is just Sean saying what's up. So patch, the added permission multiplayer on the pre-save basis. Settings are visible damage. Base editing can be customized to apply all players, friends only, or no one. So now you're going to have some choices. When you go into your menus and you're looking into this, do you want to let people come into it? So think of it like the PlayStation 4 privacy policy. That's kind of what it seems like Sean Murray and Hello Games took together, made a baby, and came out with this setting, which is just that, of just asking you, what parental advisory do you want to take? Do you want to have this where it's nitty gritty? Do you want to have a Monopoly type situation? Personally, I mean, I might go with Wild West. I don't know. Mac has a decisions. Let's continue. Improve the terrain editing and saving system. It reduces the chance of terrain regeneration and further improves this of the systems that are improved. So the load times. We might see my monolith, and if you go back to my old episodes, if you're new to this channel, you will check it out. I actually did bug out a monolith and made it fly a little bit. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyways, you can watch that. I'm gonna plug that in there. Like, you can definitely go back into those episodes. I want to say episode 23, but moving on, adding on the archaeology missions. How coincidental. To the available pool, where the missions now have planetary NPCs. Fix the issue that could prevent players with very large save games from saving. Fix an issue where it prevented save games from loading. I've had that happen, but not recently. Fix an issue where incorrect synced information in the multiplayer. Fix an issue that caused mission markers to be attached to the wrong destination. Say it ain't so. Now this one's kind of neat. It even has like a little graph right there. Fix a number of issues around the refining generator inventory system, improved pick and drop system of the inventory. Kudos. I very much there like that. That looks intuitive. They even showed us really quick. Just drag, drop. It's like a Windows little button. Love it. That is super awesome. If you want to go back to the website and click it and be able to watch that over and over again, be my guest. But the next thing that it fixed was the cast visual glitches in the clouds in the higher resolution. I've seen it happen kind of occasionally, but where I run my systems and stuff, the playback is amazing when I'm able to capture on the out. But what's on the screen sometimes can be kind of choppy. So I'm hoping that will improve for me. Fix the occasional crashes in the geometry streaming when planets. Oh wow, okay, so that would probably. There was a lot of crashing when I was flying, I'm not gonna lie, and getting out of that. So it revolved around getting in ships and getting out of ships. Fix an issue where clouds and the shadows were interfering with the reflections and rendering. Now that's cool. Did it open up a pocket of nowhere where you just fell down below and entered the watery murk of the nowhere land that you had to try to find a cave to get out of? Yeah. If you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment, because I've been there. I know other people have been there too. And improve the consistency between the tessellated and the non-tessellated terrains. So I'm assuming the way that you can kind of consistently basically burrow in, burrow out. I'm not too familiarized with that very tantalizing word too that I probably butchered. And we're going to go on. We're not going down to the alphabets. We're going down to the improved performance. We're leaving planets. Now, that was one of the annoying things that I did happen to have, where my ship would therefore get gridlocked sometimes, where I had to utilize tactical points of entering the atmosphere, exiting the atmosphere yet again, and different variable points of trying to utilize the engines until it actually physically worked. But glad that they paid attention to that. Various memory saving, improving, and overall stability. Now that is very nice to see. Various performance and optimizations. I'm very curious how this is going to mix with me doing beta 3, because beta 3 for Sony 6.0 firmware has been purring for me lately. Even God of War has been amazing. The various performance optimizations, and fixed an issue where you could prevent players from going through the black hole. Now that would be annoying, besides that of losing some of your ship parts and you having to rebuild it. That was the only thing that was annoying, but I mean, that's what you got for jumping a crap load of light years ahead through a black hole and surviving it, somehow becoming part of a singularity. But we are going to see that they fixed an issue where players would be able to warp and get stuck on the other side of the portal. How does that work? used. Someone else had that happen? Drop a comment. Where I'm gonna go next to, which is going to be fix an issue where players were able to enter the freighter base when it was not loaded in the memory. Now that's an interesting situation. So you're like in a purgatory of nothing. Is it like some kind of like trapped on a freighter? Fix an issue where players could start their game in appropriate systems. Or wait, hold on, right? Could start their game in inappropriate systems when started in multiplayer. You mean like wrong solar systems? They forgot to put solar systems? Because systems in general make me think of a gaming system. I'm assuming that they're talking about like an actual solar system. Like that would make more like sense, I would suppose. Fix an issue that would cause vast number of sentinel drones to spawn. I've had that happen, but it wasn't anything that wasn't normal. I usually get chased by drones. It just happens. They don't like me, and I don't like them. Bitterly salty about them. But what we are going to see is that Hello Games fix an issue that prevents players with the pre-next saves from fully upgrading their exosuit. So now that is available. You can get your OG suit on and go get fitted. That's right. OG status. Original galactic gangster. But moving on past that, it fixed an issue where the freighter crew would be changed race on a warp. Now that's kind of cool though. It's like you're in parallel dimensions. It's like you're jipping around the universe in like some kind of weird flashpoint. I think that's multicultural. They should keep it. Should be on like a new like extreme survival mode, parallel universal mode. One die and you go into a whole other parallel universe. That'd be kind of cool. Anyways, enough free fun banter for Hello Game to like chip a like dart at on a board of a possible idea. But looking past that, we kind of see past the spawn. We see past the where we can see that the swapped crew is where we left off. So where the player's ship could spawn on the same landing pad as multiplayers. Now that was something that they talked about in the past previous one, so it seems like they're buffering that out on like some consoles and PCs that are probably still experiencing that. So hopefully they've gotten rid of that, but if you still had that happen to you, then you should probably vocalize it and drop a comment. You're more than welcome at this point in time. If you're this far into the patch notes and invested into it, then hit the subscription button here at M7 News. We bring it fresh, and I always try to bring it within the first few days, if not during that first portion of when it, well, hits down and grinds down to the point of what the details are. So if you're into that kind of thing, then you can definitely subscribe. It's absolutely free. But enough of that. Moving on past that, where we have in the situation, it fixed an issue where players were not able to land on the same freighter. It fixed an issue where the interaction of the captain of the freighter is not owned by the player. Now I had that happen. I actually got onto it and I battled, and I was really cool looking ship. It looked like a Mass Effect key, like freaking like galactic shift blade, and like something you see like on Kingdom Hearts, like badass. But yeah, it didn't let me have it. It was sad. So I'm glad that they fixed that. Fixed an issue where excuse me. The length and the difficulty and the reward to scale the incorrect relative to power of the player's fleet. So if you're having issues with that situation, now it is therefore fixed. They fixed an issue that caused players to exit their ships and exocrafts while tagging a marker. Wow, how interesting. Fix an issue where the ship landed on the freighter to labeled on planet. Ooh, that just sounds so cool. I want to see that happen. Fixed an issue that caused players' ships to incorrectly inform when viewed through an analyzer visor. Oh, that was a bug? That was just like not being able to find it. Okay, cool. Right on. Yay! Less lag time. Fixed an issue that could cause sentinels to appear as undiscovered creatures when viewed through the analyzer visor. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was part of the lore. I thought we were getting like different variations of them. They're like Pokemon. Catch them all, or some kind of variable pop you gotta collect. Fixed the axes used to calculate planets' coordinates as shown on the analyzer visor. Now, I'm very, very happy to see that because the axis was so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Redunk. So ridiculous. I was just like, sometimes you gotta like be like floating upside down, like your analog's like in a weird, like Marty McFly waking up for like the first time before he's supposed to go meet up at the dock at the Twin Pine Malls, like freaking pose when he's on the bed and his arms like all awkward, that kind of awkward pose. Yeah, that thing. Just dream that up again. So like that's out there. We're moving on. So it prevents the players with the freighters for the warping other players in a multiplayer to the system that would get stuck in. So now that one's kind of annoying. You're stranded. You're like Gilligan in a solar system. Yay! God. Fix an issue where the freighter's dock lights were not correctly lit or unlit when saves and load on freighters. Glad they fixed that. And then the various text fixes. Harumbi. We finally have gotten it. And now, as you can see, that there is the variation of 1.7, 1.57 is what I'm getting at. You're more than welcome to go check out those patch notes, but I'm going to go ahead and end it there and say thanks, everyone. This is your boy MacGyver7th signing out, saying thanks again for watching. I appreciate everyone, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready for God of War 1.32 of the patch notes, and I really got to hit the grindstone and roll with it. And I'll be back in a second, in a flash, with some news, and then might go to some God of War because I need to beat it because Spider-Man's coming out. Yeah, good Spider-Man and Warcraft. Anyways, it's your boy Max saying peace.